These short Q&As were taken from our live stream on depression. So remember to check out that full video if you haven't yet. Enjoy the video. So firstly, I want to say, if you are that person that has someone that struggles with depression, first rejoice that God has given you the opportunity to be more like Christ. And so don't despise your spouse, but remember that God is sovereign and that God has given you your spouse to teach you how to become more like Christ. So in that moment, say, Lord, thank you that I can now sacrifice myself for my friend, for my spouse. So remember God's purposes in your life, that God is working all things together for your good, even your spouse depression. So remember that. And then as well, as we've said in the verses, always seek to root your own joy in the Lord himself. In other words, your joy shouldn't ultimately be dependent on your spouse or your friend. Because if you have ever been with depressed people or talked to depressed people for a long time, you will notice that depressed people can make you depressed. So your joy mustn't be in anything that person does or doesn't do. Thirdly, ask God to fill you with his Holy Spirit. Ask God to give you strength, to control you, to love your wife and respect your husband. And then here, I think is a practical thing you can do is take a Bible and go to your spouse, your friend that's struggling, and open the Bible and say, can I just read this to you? Would you close your eyes and just listen to these verses? And never underestimate the simple power of Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Use that. Read it out loud for your friend or your spouse that is battling. Read Psalm 42. Read 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 16 to 18. Right? So encourage your spouse with the truth and remind them of the truth, even in those moments. And then pray with them regularly. Lead in prayer. Ask God. And then try to lead your friend or lead your spouse as well to give thanks to God. So even ask the person that is depressed, like, what are you thankful for at this moment? Let's give thanks to God right now in this moment. And then seek to help that person find help. If they need help, if they need somebody to talk to, help them and lead them to that. And then as well, I want to say, provide them space to rest. We're going to look at that a little bit as well. Sometimes people are depressed because they are exhausted, because they are just overwhelmed by life's responsibility. Then it would be helpful just to give them that space and that time to rest and to sleep. Like Elijah. Remember Elijah in 1 Kings 19? His answer was simply this, right? To eat and sleep because the journey is too long for you. And then lastly, be patient. Be patient. It's not quick fixes, but it's to be patient, remembering that God is teaching you and helping you to become more like Christ.